failed to connect, connection banned, and then we go to F1, we see CANTICheat, C-A-N-T-I cheat, you have been banned, and now it just repeats it immediately before loading the loading screen. So I looked up CANTICheat, which obviously is some sort of mod of an anti-cheat, connection banned, and you've been banned, etc. There doesn't seem to be any results, and Google is really aggressive about assuming I'm misspelling it. So, okay, so this will be the only video on YouTube asking this. Apparently that was MegaRust Kit Gather 5X, or X5, excuse me, TP Home Auto Airdrops, Wipe Vote, and it's 12/26, the Christmas time wipe. It's a Rust Legacy server, and you have been banned by CANTICheat, which I think is a funny name. It also shows up as as this one under 8, or 0 out of 50 here when I do it. It says the same thing, failed to connect, connection banned. So, number one, everybody knows about the tendency of people who run servers never explaining why someone's banned. Half the time it's because they're being lazy. The other half of the time is it's not practical to explain every single banning. If they had to do that, they'd be communicating with thousands of people a day who are just simply a bot routine or a search engine or something like that that has to be banned because it's doing something weird. In my case, I deliberately went out of my way to use a version of Rust Legacy that's almost but not quite fully generic. This is the Rust Legacy EU October 2nd, 2025, 9:30 p.m. build. The only thing I did in it at all is make it to where the cursor that shows up on the mapping utility when you hit the letter M is a smaller dot. That's the only modification I made to it. So, unless somebody's going to grasp at straws and say that's it, by the way, I could be lying, and this could be a bog standard one I'm using to test it, hint, hint. If you pause the video at that point, you're not walking into a trap, you're just being stupid. If anybody knows why I would get banned on a server that I've done nothing wrong on, I mean, I wasn't even doing the typical thing of running along a surface and walking over a rock or something so they'd assume I was rock glitching or some other bullshit excuse. This is literally just me blank. I mean, I was in mid-walk, running with a full inventory. This is a bunch of stuff that was just available at their version of the of Big Rad. And I want to point out again, this is a 5x server, so you have a ridiculous amount of stuff. There's nothing to cheat to get. There was no one else on the server. So here's a couple of things. Number one, I'm not owed an explanation, and you never get one out of a server owner. If I was a server owner, again, there would be probably thousands of people banned for just trying to use really stupidly, badly written cheats. Okay, fine. So you wouldn't expect me to respond to you. But the point is that the software should tell you why. And again, it just said that I'm banned, and it was listed as their anti-cheat banned me, no reason. Now, the last time I looked at a version of that I was able to get a hold of, it did it for, you could customize lots of reasons. And the log file will contain that. Now, if you're the server owner for, again, I'll just point out the IP address, and the name is MegaRust Kit Gather X5 TP Homes Auto Airdrops Wipe Vote, and it was 12/26. That's the server name. I'll also give the IP address in the title of the video. If you know why I was banned, I'd like to be told, but obviously you don't have to. I don't expect that to happen, obviously. And next one, this is the first time I've been banned. Like, this is a ban. This is probably a temporary ban. It's not saying whether it's temporary or permanent. But I am making a modded version of Rust, but I'm not running it. This is literally, it's not bog standard. Obviously, it's Rust Legacy EU's version, but it's just a little odd. Now, I haven't done anything on the server that I know of. And this brings up a problem. Should you on screen or in the log file or in a PM or whatever by any means necessary or not, should you, as a server owner, yes, there could be thousands of different systems, they're not necessarily gamers, coming on your server and getting banned. Should you give them a response on screen? Is it your responsibility to explain exactly why? Because I want to point out that a lot of people interpret these bans when they're not justified and when they're really, righteously complaining about it, which you could say I am doing, but honestly, I'm just curious. They don't want to give out information on why a person was banned, because if they're running cheats, they'll figure out how to evade the cheats, the anti-cheat software. And again, as named, it should be for cheating, not for bad behavior. What you're supposed to do is ban a person and no reason given, or ban a person and say, I'm banning you because you're harassing people by being creative, getting around my rules or whatever. The server, as far as I know, well, I can't read the server rules now. The server doesn't have any rules against me running around and collecting stuff at Big Rad when no one else is on the server, not attacking any. I didn't attack anybody else's base. What I did is I went to the bases that I had that were decaying, tore down the majority of the material, except I left the foundations down so someone could take them over if they wanted to. And I tried rebuilding a bridge to one of the little islands on the west coast in the game. Is that it? Now, why ask the questions and why answer them? Again, I'll just get to the point. This has nothing to do with the game Rust, by the way. If you write a piece of software with an error message, which we could call this an error message, in this case it's a cheat program, should the program inform the user unambiguously what happened? And the answer is yes. You should always make it impossible for them to ask the question, why? But should that apply to software that presumes you're guilty of cheating? Now, again, anybody who's played this game, you can be temporary banned. It's called a kick violation. You're kicked, not banned. You're kicked off the server because it's interpreting you walking on a flat surface as a problem, because it keeps having a problem of a lag spike, and it looks like you're trying to glitch through the ground when you're not. That's an actual problem on virtually every Rust server. It's one of the reasons I advocate for not using the anti-cheat software, because mostly it just fucks with people who aren't cheating. Every one of the cheaters I've seen, and there's been bunches of them on like one server and none on the rest, I mean virtually no cheating. Every cheater I've run into was getting away with it while the admin was watching. Mostly because they wanted to have the admin see them get away with it. The anti-cheat software doesn't work on Rust because it's from 2013. Or maybe a little more recent. And the much more recent stuff won't work on my computer, and I can't use a client that actually protects from that. Now, the one or two clients I have that will protect for it, for like Crimson Rust and Rustouge and Rust Leak, the ones I reviewed recently, they technically do have an internal kind of anti-cheat piece of code that actually does work well enough and fine. But all of the old stuff, the server utility I have on my computer, I have a copy of the server software. I turn off the anti-cheat routine because all it does is interfere with me when I'm literally, same thing, walking along. So was this actually anti-cheat? Or was this its way of saying, I'm having problems because I'm lagging on a one-player server? Because there was a lot of lagging going on. Again, if you write your software to where you know damn good and well it's going to lag spike people, and then your anti-cheat software will kick them, kick violate them or ban them, you need to turn off or desensitize your anti-cheat. And again, running from my own computer with a 0 millisecond, lag or ping, almost. I had to turn off all the anti-cheat software just so the damn thing wouldn't be able to kick me off for a full day. A false flagging is bad. A false positive is always bad. It just makes things really bad, and it pisses people off, and it looks ridiculously poorly programmed, which it is. Hence the reason I completely disable the anti-cheat software if I run a server on my computer, because I don't want to deal with it, basically just wasting people's time. What's the point of running an anti-cheat software that doesn't stop the cheaters and kicks off people for bullshit reasons? So anyway, I'll cut and paste this CAntiCheat : blah, 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 and the other things, and also the name of the server to the video so it can be found. And if you're the server owner, if you want to, you can look through it, and I'll include the hour, minute, and second this happened as best I can, so that you have that timing, and it'll be West Coast time, not GMT. Sorry, I'll include GMT if I feel like it. But if your anti-cheat, which apparently is some customized routine, is making mistakes like this, and I guarantee you this was a mistake, I'm not going to be the only one getting kicked off. By the way, your server has nobody going on it. Nobody's there. Nobody wants to play on your server. It might be coincidence, or this might be part of the reason. I don't know. Just spitballing here. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll all need it.